Here we go again. Attic Nights, Book 1, Part 14. Quid dixerit fecerit qui si Fabrius. So what si Fabricus said and did, fecerit is did, avere, a man with great ablatives, with great glories, and with Magnus Rebus Gestus, having done many great things, but he's inops of family and pecunia. So he's doesn't have a distinguished family or a great deal of pecunia, which is money. When ei to him, the Samnites, just as an indigenate, just as a poor person, it looks like they must have thought it, they donated, they gave him grava morem, orem being neuter, so grave is the neuter form of the adjective. They gave him a lot of gold, and that's the lead in part 1. So Julius Hyginus, in Libro, in a book concerning vitae, concerning the life in rebuses and acts or deeds of illustrious virums, of an illustrious man, and we see that Libro is the 6th book, sexto. It said that legatos, legates, ambassadors from the Samnites to see Fabricum, the imperator, probably a general of the Roman people, Populi Romani, says here that Venice, they came, and having commemorated or thought of the many great deeds, it looks like that's all ablative, which bene and benevole, which he had done well and in good will, after peace had returned, pacem reditem, he had done to the Samnites, for them maybe. Looks like they obtulised him, they carried to him in the way, by way of a gift, grand pecunium, a lot of money, and orase, some form of they begged or asked that he should accept it and util and use this gift, and the Samnites dixisi to facere. They said that they'd done this, looks like a reason here, quod because of Viderant, they saw his house to splendor and his victus and his livelihood or money to be deferi, to be lacking in multa, in many things, and nequi pro amplitude and dignitate lotum pradum. Pradum doesn't mean prepared here. It looks they saw that he was living in a way that wasn't fitting the amplitude and dignity and praise of his position, it looks like. So that's why they've offered him money. 2. Tum, then, fabricum, looks like we're still in accusative and infinitive language here, his planus manus, manus being female, so the planes of his hands, the flat part of his hands, from his oribuses, from his ears, to his oculus, to his eyes, and in turn, de inceps, infra below, to his nostrils, to his nose, and to his os, that would be his mouth, and to his gullet, that would be his throat, and indi, and then poro, furthermore, to ventrum emum, to the bottom of his ventre, which is his belly or his stomach, he deducts it at his hand. He let his hands there. And looks dative, and to these legates he respondiced thus, so. Dum, while illis omnis, while with all those things, members, its limbs, so with all those limbs which are tigesset, which he had touched, an obsistre, which he can block with, and which he's posset able to order. That's not first person, but I guess they've taken what he's responded and put it into the third person. Nunquem, never anything will I be desum, will I be lacking in quicquem anything, on account of such this pecunia, this money, we have a qua there, which for myself, sibi, there is nihil usus of the ablative, so that's why that qua is in the ablative. So on account of this money which I've no use for, but from those whom he knows to have a use, he cannot accept it. So he can't take money from people. He doesn't need it, but the people giving it might need it. Chapter 15. Quehem, probably means how here. Importunum, it means unuseful or unlikely. Vitium, of vice. So how hated and full of vice, or unlucky and bad vice. Sit, may it be. Futilis and inanus loquacity. So loquacity means speaking. So futilis is basically empty speech, and inane means empty again. So you might say empty and cheap. Is this cheap language? It's full of hate and usefulness. And quam again, how much I'm saying, multis in locus, and how in many places by the principus, by the leading man, I guess, of utrius qui lingua, of both tongues. There's the virus of man. Detestation, when you detest something, so it looks like empty and cheap speaking. It's been detested, and it has a just culpa, there's just blame for this such things. Okay, and that's the intro, so we'll just italics it again. Okay, so daily dictionary word, futilis, vain, worthless. It's futile is pretty similar to that, I guess. Qui sunt, those who leves light, and is futilis again, and empty or vain, and importunae locutors, those who are tiresome speakers, you might want to say. Quique nulla, and with nothing, another ablative, no weight of matter or circumstances are in it. Inixi, relying on ablative. Uvidus verbis, that's wet words. So they're speaking, they've got nothing of weight, and they're relying on wet words, or maybe slippery or something. Because here's lapsantibus, which means slipping away, and defluent, that means it's flowing away as well. So they're relying on wet words that flow and slip away. Eorum orations, these orations of these people, the speech, existimatum, is estimated or thought well to be nascied in ore, to be born in the mouth, not in the pector, not in your heart, you might want to say. Autem, postpositive. However, or moreover, the linguam, aunt, they say, ought to be not libram, not free and not vagum, not wandering about, but vinculus, but with chains, immo pectore, from the bottom of the heart. Chain to the bottom of the heart, you might want to say. In English, we usually say the bottom of. They don't use the of, they just put them all in the same case. And decor, and it should be aptus or suited to the heart. That's the heart's the cord. It ought to move, adapted to the heart, and quasi, as if it is gubernare, ruled or controlled by the heart. So it's chained into your chest, and it should move aptly to your heart. And we'll scroll a bit. Sed enum, said but, enum post positive means for, so for but doesn't sound so good, so we'll just say for, vidias, subjunctive, for you may see, quas them, certain people, to scattere verbs, they might speak words without any negotio, without any real business of judgment, but with security, multa, with much security and profoundly they're speaking, as loquenting, that's present participle, as the speakers, plerum qui, adverb, generally they seem to nescia, to not know themselves to be speaking. So they're just scattering out words everywhere without seeing and without even realizing they're speaking, is what he's saying. Ulixen, Greek. Ulysses, contrarily, or oppositely. Homer, looks like he's now the nominative. So Ulysses, a man entrusted with or endowed with praetortum, with a sapiendi facundium, with very wise facundiana or eloquence. Homer has 8. He has said that Ulysses sent out his voice not from his ore, not from his face or his mouth, but from his pector, from his chest or his heart again. That's scalicet, obviously, or one may assume that not to the sound and habitum, which is probably the appearance of it, the quality, more of the voice, than ad penitus, to the depth of the sentiment or view that he's saying, which has been conceived, conceptarum, pertains or attains to the depth, the altitude of which this has been conceived deeply, probably in your heart, and not just these sounds and appearances that come from your mouth. What do we got? Petulantia. We'll just take this. Petulance. Okay, so you can coerce, you can check or stop this petulance of the words, or this rambling of the words. He says, as like there's opposed or opposite, or some barrier is placed, because we have a vellum, which is like the rampart, is placed around your dentium, which are your teeth. So it's as if your mouth has this rampart of your teeth stopping your words. So that loquende looks the gerundish version of things. Where does it go down to here? The not temerity or rashness of speaking, as if it's a custodia. So as if it's a guard merely of the heart, so that you should not speak rashness, and a vigilant, another custodian sort of word, which will check this, cohibit this. But at quibustam quasi excubis, excubis again, these like guards again, which are hedged in, sapiota, place positus in the mouth. Okay, so it's as if you've got each of your teeth looks like a certain guards, which guard your mouth and hedge it against speaking rubbish. That's pretty much it for the day. For Homerica, the Homeric works, which supradixi, which above I said concerning these, haec sunt, these are the words, and some Greek thing, which I'll read from the lobe. It says, when from his breast his mighty voice went forth, and we'll pick it up tomorrow.